for however we want to express ourselves, we should be able to do that. But not everybody is on the same page with that, so there's different stuff going on.
The problem with Donald Trump is that he normalizes, racism. That's the problem with Donald Trump, and that it seems like it's going to bother me for the next 3.5 years, and hopefully not the next 7.5 years.
A problem in today's society, there's a lot of racism, there's a lot of police brutality.
What's concerning me today is that the world is in shambles and everyone's on social media.
And this is Word on the Street. Today in the studio to talk about apathy, we have La Emma Olenu, who is part of the Youth Mission Outreach here in Poughkeepsie. Thank you for joining us today, La Emma. Nice to meet you. Could you please tell us about the Youth Mission Outreach and the programs that it offers?
Okay. So Youth Mission Outreach, we have been in the city of Poughkeepsie for about 25 years. We're actually celebrating our 25th year. We cover a wide array of services. We have held community outreaches, so we do community clothing drives, food drives. We also have a standing signature youth night meeting.
Hello, my name is Jordan Ariel, and this is Word on the Street. In the studio today to talk about racism is the Reverend Dr. James A. Forbes. Reverend Forbes is the Senior Minister Emeritus of the Riverside Church of New York. He is also the founder of the organization called the Healing of the Nations Foundation. So Dr. Forbes, today we're just going to talk a little bit about racism. So why do you think that we're seeing a rise in racism today?
Well, first of all, let me say how pleased I am to have the privilege to be in conversation with you today, okay? Why do we see a rise? I think it's because in 1994, President Clinton said, in the next few decades, we will discover that there will no longer be a minority. There will only be a majority. There will only be a series of minorities. And indeed, demographics have proven that there is no longer a world in which there are mostly white people that are the majority, but there are many, many, many different minorities. And with many, many different minorities, white control, white dominance, white superiority is being called and questioned everywhere. When the assumed superiority of some gets to be challenged, and the future looks like maybe those who were in the majority will have to take their places along with those who have been considered minorities before. All of a sudden, the folks in charge for centuries begin to be nervous because they wonder, what will life be like when we are required just to be human beings along with other human beings and not the superior creatures of the earth?
Word on the street is that people are not happy with government. They think they're not doing things right by them. Do you think they have a reasonable reason, Carrie, to be upset with government?
I think if you're talking at the federal level, I think people are feeling a bit out of control, I don't know. Locally, I think we all have control. Locally is where I feel like people really need to go all in and get informed and make a difference.
Some people, they feel like their voice is not being heard, and they don't feel like, okay, I can go to the polls and I'll vote for this person, but somehow it just doesn't work out that way, and they get discouraged.
In the studio today to talk about poverty, we have Jordan Dowdy. Jordan is the assistant professor of sociology here at DC. He is also the founder of the food pantry here and the community garden in Poughkeepsie. So, Professor Dowdy, can you tell us about your work in poverty and what prompted you to open a food pantry here at the Dutchess?
Well, what prompted, and it's not just me. I can't take all credit for it. There's a huge team of people that have been working behind it. A lot of staff and faculty and students, including the Student Government Association and the union that represents us teachers on campus. So there's been a lot of support and a lot of people behind it. But it comes out of the basic need to eat. You know, I teach a bunch of classes and I make all my students do a bunch of things, doing quizzes and exams, and I cannot expect them to get these things right unless they've been eating something. So I thought this was just a basic thing. Let's get food in people's bellies, and then they can tackle the bigger things like their classes and stuff like that.